Okay, look at this. Look at us.
We're
By
here.
us, I mean me. We are back once again. I am the wash god, washed, never washed up. We're wash gods, I guess. Taji's here.
We're here.
Yeah. Someone's here. I'm not filming myself, guys. This isn't draft after dark. It's the only time I'm ever filming myself. But yeah, man, I'm here. Taji's here.
What up?
Sean's in Sean land. He'll be back next week. We're still doing the 1-2 thing. I'm only here because I promised y'all I would come back, and I promised the Wash Gods would be back. So yeah, we're back once again, man. This is episode 81. Shout out to T.O. Terrell Owens.
That's my quarterback.
Yeah. That's my quarterback, man. yeah. The most famous crybaby in maybe history. I don't know. Shit was weird. Yeah, we're back once again. Episode 81. We're the Wash Gods. Wash never washed up. I am Draft. He is Taji.
Taji. That's me.
But no limit exposure. Let's give him a cool name. He deserves it. Yeah, we're here. But yeah, man, guess we get into the countries as we usually do. Shout out to these United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, the Philippines, United Arab Emirates, Germany, Iceland, Brazil, Russia, Mother Russia, Ireland, India, Singapore, France, Norway, New Zealand, Finland, the Netherlands, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, Romania, Spain, Estonia, Ecuador, Denmark, Sweden. I just fucked some shit up.
Nice.
Sweden.
Shout out to the
yeah.
chef, the Muppet chef.
One of the greatest chefs of all time. Shout out to Raekwon. Sweden, Singapore. I'm just pulling from the top. Okay, I'm back. Sweden, Slovakia, Belgium, Italy, Qatar, Turkey, Hong Kong, Japan, Mexico, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, and most importantly, Israel.
Hey.
But yeah, man, we're here once again, man. I guess I'll get into my week. I don't have anybody to bounce this week off of. My week was my week, man. I don't know. I guess I got into my deep thinking bag and shit. But my week was cool, man. I don't really have no complaints. It's a lot of work. I guess one thing we were talking about prior to the pod, and every podcaster knows the best pod happens before you start the podcast. But getting back into the swing of things, you just see like what the cycle of life of people is, and it's interesting because it's like most people kind of live on that whole, like their work is, once they get their job or whatever thing that pays their rent, it's like that becomes their whole existence. Working with the people that I work with, it's like everything is based around the job. And I'm just like, man, like that's probably one of my biggest fears in life, like to become one of those people. Like, all right, well, like so-and-so from the job did this and blah, blah, blah. Like, ugh, no. Like, we don't even know each other really. Like, we can't act like this is a real relationship. It's not a real relationship, man. We're two people that, we're two ships that pass in the night and shit. Like, we're in the same place at the same time, but we're not necessarily, like, we shouldn't be equated together. Like this is a thing that's happening. So, yeah, man, getting to that whole swing of the 40-hour work week shit, it's like, I started to think about, like the deadliest part of life is really just living. Like that's like the number one cause of death is living. Like, because like especially in the way life is structured nowadays. Like that shit is a fucking killer, man. Like life is a killer in itself. Like most people go to jobs they hate, they hold everything in, and like I remember there's a scene in like Family Guy where they're talking about like somebody is like yelling at somebody and they're holding it in the whole time, and then they go like to their brain and it's like I'm a tumor, and it's like growing and just getting bigger and bigger. That's how I just feel about most people in most situations. It's like, yeah, I mean, you can't. No one's happy at doing this shit. Like no one enjoys this type of life of fucking just going to work, working till you die and shit. You know, I get it, man. Everybody got to provide for who they got to provide with, but overall, it's just like, nigga, that shit is not a happy existence for anybody. It can't be. It can't even be good for you, like your cells and shit, like just down to the molecular level or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't. It's something that permeates. Like when I look at people like Willie Nelson and people like that, or Snoop Dogg, they just, or Pharrell or whoever you want to say is aging gracefully. I feel like a lot of that shit just comes from the way they live their life. You know what I mean? Like that. Like there's something to be said about that. Like. These motherfuckers are free, man. I think that's just good overall. So,
does that mean you starting to sympathize with like hippie communes and shit?
No.
All right.
I think structure is good. You know what I mean? I think people, there's a sweet science to this shit. I think it is. Like, for me personally, I can't say that for everybody, but for me personally, I need purpose. So I can't just. I don't think just living to live.
Shout out Loki.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I need a purpose in life. I think that's where you get you know what I mean? That's what makes a character of someone. Like that's how you get your character from. Like you're seeking your purpose. Like the ups and downs of seeking your purpose is where you become you. So like without that, I don't even feel like myself. So I mean, maybe you find purpose. Maybe people find purpose in like the monotonous jobs that mean nothing and shit. Maybe you find a way of purpose in that because you're providing for somebody. But me personally, I need like a fucking gift at the end of my shit. Like I need, you know what I mean? I need a rainbow at the end of my rain. So I kind of need like that moment for me. So like that's what comes out of podcasting. That's what comes out of music. Like you have a podcast you're done, or you have an album that you finished that you worked on to completion. That shit is for me it is the childbearing process. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, men, we can't bear kids, but that's what it is for me. It's like I get to see some shit that I put some work in, take its own life and grow legs and become whatever, and let people talk about it in whatever way they do. But yeah, man, so just seeing people that don't have that on a daily basis, it's a weird thing because it alters every conversation. Like we can't have a normal conversation about whatever because you're like my focus is getting the fuck home to do what the fuck I need to do. Your focus is shit, we gotta hit this bitch hard, you know what I'm saying? And you know, get in good with whoever and you know, climb the ladder to success, elevator style. You know, I get that, but it's I just never been wired that way, man. And I think about that too, man. We were talking about before the pod about like how religion affects the way you move in life, and like, or just man. I thought about this listening to. Actually, well, I guess I'll get into that later, but as I always do. I'll talk about what I've been listening to in the beginning of the pod.
It's only right.
Yeah. But I was listening to the April Walker shit. Shout out to Nori and the Drink Champs. And I really didn't know about Walkerware, to be honest.
The shit that just dropped, right?
Yeah.
You watched it? It was good?
Yeah. It was actually pretty.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I meant to like shout out to Vince, man. Shout out to Vince Knows. I definitely meant to send it to him because he's the fashionista that I know, but I did want to send it to him just so he could. She talks about the struggles of being a black creative in that space of creating clothes and shit, and her come up, and she used to style Tupac and Naughty by Nature, and like a lot of she
saved money because he never wore shirts.
Yeah,
it's just
mostly suspenders. The whole suspender gang, like all those niggas, Tretch and Pac, all them niggas always wore suspenders with no shirts. Yeah, her.
She left her mark on it.
Yeah. But oh shit, I should have put a sticker over this, giving these motherfuckers ad time. We have to bleep that. Either way, what was I talking about? April Walker.
Yeah.
Oh, she said that she talked about her dad. Her dad managed a lot of jazz artists, and later he ended up managing, what's the guy? D-Train, I believe his name is. Keep on, keeping on. You gotta keeping on. The cat that the Sky is the Limit sample came from. Sky is the limit, you know. Yeah. D-Train is his name. But he was like a soul singer, I guess, in the '80s, and he went on to like work with Hove and a lot of people in rap later on. But she's talked about how like she literally watched him dance to the beat of his own drum in a sense. So like having that mindset growing up changed the way she approached it. Like when you see your dad or whoever living off the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like he's living off the earth basically. Like a lot of people don't. If you've never seen it up close, it's a very scary thing. Like even me to a certain extent, I can say like with my pops, it's like I'm going on a whole tangent that had nothing to do with my beginning point, but whatever. Walk with me. Shout out to Sheik Luch. Yeah, even with my dad, like he did a lot of freelance work growing up. So like I do have that thing in me where it's like I watched my dad like, motherfucker, I'm not listening to you, nigga. And like tell other adults like, fuck you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like that shit is in me a little bit because I've seen it up close. And like, you know, I don't know how we got by or, you know what I'm saying? I was too young to know. But shit, I'm here today. We got by somehow. So like I have that thing in me like, yeah, I mean, shit might not always be pretty, but I think your principles are like priceless. Like I can't sell them shits for nobody, man. Like I'd rather be homeless or whatever, you know what I'm saying, than just be a yes sir, no sir, goddamn shuck and jive ass nigga, man. Like it's not enough money in the world for me to be that type of nigga. So yeah, like being around those people, man, 40 hours a week that are just like so committed to doing that. I had this on another tangent. I had a conversation with Joe. Like, shout out to Joe. He was supposed to be here, but I told him 8 a.m. and not 6 a.m. But whatever the case is, I was telling him about like some of the employees I work with. Like, they'll just throw a fit for anything. But he was like, yo, that's a good thing because like people got to let these people know that like we're doing a service for you. Like, we're not lucky to be employed. You're lucky to have me. You know what I mean? And I think more people kind of got to approach it like that. Especially, I mean, if there's any positive thing that came out of this COVID shit, it's like people owning that a little bit more.
Yep.
Because, like, you got to value workers. Like, I can't even really check nobody at work like that, like I would before because we're so short-staffed. Like, we don't have the room to be like, you can massage your points a little bit, but you can't really fucking just jump down on somebody and be like, yo, we need to do this because motherfucker, they'll walk out that bitch. Yep. Like, they don't give a fuck. Like, you better be lucky you have anybody that shows up. So, yeah, man. That being said, I like to take that approach when it comes to like work life. Like, you know, you kind of had that. Niggas need to know that yo, when people ask me how I'm doing when I show up to work, I say, yo, I came here. I showed up. Like, that's all you need to know. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I don't have to show up to this motherfucker, man. Like, you should, you know, if I showed up, then everything's good, man. Because I don't have to be here, man. So, yeah, that was my week in a nutshell. Taji, how you feeling?
Hey, man, just doing the thing, man, and all the things in every way. Just busy as shit, family life and what have you.
How was the birthday?
Oh shit, it was good, man. Little one turned 3. It was
round of
straight,
applause.
Man. Hold on, I gotta annotate that.
Yeah. Yeah, put in your own round of applause.
Put that in there.
Put that in for you.
But yeah, it was good, man. I haven't been having to do security cameras around the house because them young boys came by checking car doors, so that was nice. Yeah, so I feel like Tony Montana. I can see every angle of my house now. So try it again.
Be your last car door you ever touch.
I don't know. I heard that would happen.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, it's cool. We had nothing in the car. They went in my wife's car. Yeah, thankfully, nothing was in there.
That's what's so crazy. I remember hearing that before, like that, because I had a car a long time ago that the locks didn't work, so I wouldn't leave shit in there.
Right.
And people would be like, "Bro, like." People like they just go around cars and just checking the doors. I'm like, people do that?
Hell yeah. I'm on the app where it let me know. Like I can see it's like a tsunami. Like I saw it coming. Like they kept getting closer and closer to my vicinity because everybody would. And this was like over the span of months, and then they finally hit. It. Yeah, last weekend, man, they finally hit.
Oh, shout out to the NBA young boys, man. I get it, man.
Fists clenched everywhere.
Yeah. How these niggas eat pizza. That's one of the funniest memes ever. It's just a nigga grabbing it.
All those are fucking ridiculous.
How NBA young boy fans do this. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah. The young menaces. Shout out to them. Yeah. That's crazy, man. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, you're here.
Yep.
As I said about work, if you arrived, everything is good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, seriously, for real. Yeah.
Everybody doesn't have to be in the places that they're at, so I get it. I guess we'll do a wash moment. I think I used this wash moment already, but I don't think that pod dropped, so I'm gonna use it again. I was on the train and a chick was trying to talk to me, and I was just like, what? And she like walked up to me and snatched my headphones off. She's like, why you got them big ass headphones on? And I'm just like, damn, am I one of them old school niggas you used to see with them other bullshit headphones? Like,
you're essentially walking with a boombox.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm the boombox guy. Yeah. She's like, what's up with that? I'm like, I never really thought about it. Like, I just never occurred to me. And it's funny because I think, I don't know who I was talking about. Oh, it was Vince. We were talking about, like, the scene in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker where...
Huggy Bear.
This nigga still dressed like a pimp with the fish, the goldfish in his shoes and shit. And them shit's breaking all that. Like, I felt like that guy. What the fuck is this old nigga?
He thought he was flying shit too.
Yeah.
Man,
like, nigga, these are beats by Dre. They
Bro,
don't like give a fuck about Dre no more.
That's what it is, man.
Yeah.
We Huggy Bear, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even notice, bro.
He's limping.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that shit happened. Yeah, man, it's just a weird thing. I'm like, oh shit, nigga, I'm old. I didn't even know it. Like, it's crazy how that shit sneak up on you. Like, I thought about my pops when he's just like, yo, like the slang he uses and shit, because he don't even know that shit is old nigga slang. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just say it like. One thing I noticed with like older white guys, this is a whole nother tangent, but my dad's not an older white guy, but when you see older white guys, they have the slang of the older white guys that hung out with black people. They have that old nigga slang too. So when I see older white guys say like, hey man, a lot of man and shit, like I was listening to Ernie Johnson talk, I was like, oh, this is how the white guys that hung out with black people talked in the 70s and the 60s and shit.
He's just dating himself.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh,
but yeah. Yeah, I'm just some random old nigga with big ass headphones and bell bottoms and shit. Boombox. Yeah, I didn't even know it. I can tell I'm dated because like, you know, y'all can see my braids. I don't have the sides shaved. One thing I noticed about young people is like they have two hairstyles, all of them. It's like a fade on the side and some dreads at the top or some crazy shit. It's always a 2-in-1. If you don't have a 2-in-1, you an old nigga. Yeah, that was my wash moment. You got any wash moment?
Nah, yeah. My whole fucking existence is wash moment.
Yeah. All right.
Too many to keep track of.
All right, we'll get right into it. So this shit happened, and I didn't even really know it happened. And
True king.
Yeah. Applaud to me, man. I deserve something for this. I didn't really know it. I mean, I knew it happened, but I didn't know the severity of it. Apparently, there was a Facebook outage. And when we say Facebook, that's Facebook, IG.
WhatsApp?
And WhatsApp, yeah, because they own them all. Shout
Nice.
out to Mark Zuckerberg.
Shout out antitrust laws.
Yeah.
We here.
Shout out to selling our information. Yeah. Shout out to him. The scoundrel. He's probably going to cancel this podcast. They don't own YouTube, right? No? Yeah,
no,
good.
not yet.
Thank God. Yeah, not yet. Google. Shout out to the good guys at Google.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so this shit happened. It was I don't want to give away too much of my personals, but you know, I'll be WhatsApping, you know what I'm saying? And
Oh wow.
yeah. Got UK things on the WhatsApp thing or whatever the fuck Drake said. Like 4+4 on the code.
You revealed so much.
Yeah, man. He's got a song with Dave. Shout out to Dave. Yeah, so I was kind of on WhatsApp and I noticed my messages couldn't go through. But I just like, I don't know. Maybe my phone's off. I don't know. Internet's down or some shit. I just assumed it was that. And I woke up the next day and I don't even really remember getting on Instagram. I'm not really like, I mean, I'm on Instagram, but I don't really give a fuck about it. I'm not one of those people like, oh shit, IG's down. It's not really a thing for me. I wouldn't know. I don't know. Motherfucker, I just post my shit and go. Look at bitches. You know. The golden rule, as they say. Yeah, so I remember waking up the next day and seeing everybody going crazy. It's old people thinking the internet was broke because they couldn't log on to their Facebook and shit.
Jiggle the handle.
Yeah. Pour some bleach in it. Yeah, something. Yeah. Just hit your computer. That's another old nigga thing. Remember you would just hit shit to make it work?
Bro, TV, console TV.
Yeah. I remember banging on my Nintendo, like NES, blowing in the cartridges and shit.
Shit worked.
Yeah, shit helped. But yeah, so that shit happened. I don't know, man. I don't really know what to say about it. There's a rumor going around that like some lady leaked some information about some shit about how Facebook influenced the election. I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Like that's so 2 years ago.
Yeah, we know that, man, already. Like, what? I don't know if that was the reason why they would. I mean, maybe he cares more about like that information being out than I would personally, but that's not like a big secret to me. If you're present in the here and now, you know, the internet controls the world. Like as Malcolm X said, you know, he who controls media controls the mind. So I don't know, man. Maybe that was a cover up. What do you think? Think it was a cover up?
Well, the official statement from Facebook was they had introduced like a new algorithm or some sort of new feature, and they boiled it down. They made it super elementary or layman that said like somebody hit the wrong button. And I'm like, come on, man. Multi-billion-dollar company is worldwide. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, everything is fair game to me. Everything sounds like it's believable.
Yeah, except that.
Except that. Except the official statement.
Yeah. Yeah. That muddies up the water so much more.
They hit the red button.
Yeah, like
they cut the green wire. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, somebody stepped on the cord. Like, is that the best you could do? Jesus Christ. You didn't make up like, I feel like if you're going to do that, you should have had like a better lie prepared. You have a whole staff of motherfuckers to make up a logical reason why this shit could have happened. I don't know, man. We could get into the politicals and shit. That's not a word. Okay. But I don't know, man. I'm not really a big fan. I hate that people live their lives online. I'm sure I've said that point 1,000 times on this podcast. Like, people literally have a life online, and they believe in this life. This is, like, meaningful to them for some reason. It's just, like, it's such a weird thing, man. This isn't a real thing that you're doing, man. Like I think about all the people that I just know from Instagram. Like, it's such a weird relationship to have with somebody.
You don't know their real names. You just know their Instagram names. You see them in person, like, hey,
Yeah, I remember when Twitter first became a thing, and like, remember when people would like see you out and call you by your
Bruh,
Twitter
yes.
name and shit, like because they really don't know you and shit, and they would like. I remember people would be like, you would be in the same room with people sometimes. They'd be like, "Whatchamacallit's in here?"
Yeah.
And they at you, and you like look on your Twitter.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Call me slipping.
Oh shit! Shout out to a woman that would go unnamed, but I remember hanging out with her like back when Twitter was in its infant stages, like when people were still tweeting from like their laptop.
That text to tweet.
Yeah, text to tweet age.
That's
and
what
shit.
I was. I'm sorry, I was about to get into something. Like everybody's so conditioned and so spoiled that Facebook's just supposed to work. Bro, how many times you get the fail well back in 2010? And if you don't know what that is, bro, you're too young.
Bruh, yeah. When you try to tweet
yeah.
some shit,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Like you would just be, that was normal. Like you would be used to that.
There was a whole website that said, "Is Twitter down?"
Mm-hmm.
You check it because the shit more than likely was.
Yeah, we would go like every once in a while. It'd be 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It would just go down randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I guess back then I'm sure servers like that was such a new thing.
Back then they said Twitter only had like 4 employees or some shit back
That's
then.
insane.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, man.
I remember hearing that Twitter was supposed to be. Well, they said the idea was to study humans,
Yep.
and that's
Under the guise of it's the shit that you tweet out something in between your blog posts because everybody had a blog spot or a Tumblr. Some people use Tumblr to blog instead of porn. But yeah, so you're supposed to use
the losers, as we call them.
It was me. I typed words.
It's just dick pics and shit for me. I had a whole blog about my dick. Yeah. These are the updates.
Yep.
But nah, yeah, that is we're very much spoiled in that sense because we're just so used to things just working. Like, why am I can't tweet every 3 seconds about my asshole? What the fuck? Yeah, fucking bang my computer. But yeah, like I said, I don't know. Big thing to me. Actually, like, was one of my prouder moments. The fact that I was actually living life. I was probably drunk and sleep, but whatever the case was, I was away from Twitter. Yeah, I was away from the internet. So that's a crowning achievement for me. I guess on that note, we'll be right back. Gangsta, the return. All right, we're back. Let's get into this NBA insurance fraud, man. Get right into it. I really enjoyed the story, first of all, for a lot of reasons, man. One, before I really, I guess, knew the severity of it, it's just funny because you see the nigga come out. Yo, these niggas still niggas, man. At the end of the day, you give it. I don't want to dip my. I was gonna. We'll say some shit that you're gonna have to bleep, man. You take out the jungle, man, but but you can make them dance or whatever the fuck the saying is. But yeah, man. Apparently, I guess let me actually announce the story. If you're not hip, there were at least 18 players arrested on federal charges, which is pretty fucked up.
That means they got the big case. They got all the evidence.
Yeah, you're going to jail.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Do not pass go.
Yeah, if the feds are coming towards you, bro. They've invested in you. Mm-hmm. They've made investments. Yeah. But yeah, they've already have their case open and shut, bro. All they got to do is collect you.
It's a formality at that point.
Yeah, but 18 players were arrested. There's basically they were doing insurance fraud. The old okey doke. The old I'm going to my dentist for 12 root canals and shit. And you're just doing whatever the most expensive treatment is, and you're not actually there. I bet they said it was one player that was scheduling fucking doctor visits when he was in Europe playing. It's like, bro, you weren't even in the country at the time.
That's so fucking.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then when you see the names, it's like all the players that were like kind of big shit, but didn't really work out. They were like high draft picks that kind of never became who they were really supposed to be. And so it's like, fuck it. I heard someone else say this. The whole shit about people who had it and then lost it, yo. That's a whole conversation because it's like there's a lot of people that had it for like 5 seconds, and that's what their life is to them. And like anything outside of that is like death to them, bro. They're used to one type of life. Like once they escape that, like I can't imagine working my whole life to get to the NBA, and then I get the money, I get the big deal or whatever, and then 5 years later I'm out the league. Because it's like, oh shit, I kind of did everything I wanted to do, but I really didn't. And it's just like a weird space you in. You might go play in Europe or do whatever the fuck you got to do, but I don't know where that puts you mentally and shit. Like, you know, like, because like, am I supposed to just go back to the, like, then you can't go back to the hood really, because that's probably a scary conversation you got to have with everybody you know. Like, now it's like, damn, bro, what happened? You got to answer that what happened shit. Like, it's. I think I heard Cameron say that shit a long time ago. Like, there's some a song, Sports, Drugs, Entertainment, where he talks about like he blew his knee out or some shit and he got to go back to Harlem, and he's just like, damn, bro, I thought you was balling and shit. And he's just like too ashamed to even really go outside and speak to people because he's just like, yo. Yeah, he's like, now everywhere I go, I gotta answer like, bro, what happened? What happened? What happened? And like, he's like half the reason why he got into rap, so he could show people like, bro, I'm doing this now. You know what I mean? Like, damn. So, I imagine it's that scale, but much higher, because even just being the guy that gets the fucking scholarship to a big school, and you come back to the hood, and you know, there's so many people just like that just maybe. You get a scholarship to UCLA or whatever the fuck, and you just never get in. You never get playing time. And that's it. But
at least you have a college degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
The business management.
Let let the NCAA tell you. Yeah. That's worth more than anything in life. But I mean, most of these people, you know, those people aren't graduating either though. You know what I mean? Like most of those dudes ain't graduate. Like a lot of them motherfuckers, like if they don't get playing time at a school, they might transfer or they just end up giving up. I'm sure if you are like a nigga that only you give them 2 years, I ain't get in the game, bro. I'm kind of out this motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's probably, I don't know the what's it, the NIL or whatever the shit they're doing with the college athletes is probably like a really big thing, because shit like this could probably be avoided if you were getting paid through your whole college career and then got to the pros and got another check. Like, maybe it'll help kids stay in college, one, and maybe you start establishing, like, I don't know, man. I think coming into the league just flat broke is another thing too, man. It just puts you in that, like, it's like, it's another thing you're gonna have to believe. You can't just give $1 million, man. Like, you gotta but you just can't, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just give a person who never had nothing everything all at once. Like, it's bad math, bro. Like, you kind of got to ease somebody into this shit. I applaud the NBA and NFL. They're starting to kind of push financial advisors and shit like that now, after like that whole ESPN broke special came out. Remember them saying like the average NBA, I think the average NBA career is only like 5 years. That's long compared to I think NFL was only like 3. You know, and they always say like,
you fizzle, man.
Yeah, NFL stands for not for long. Yeah. You know, that's what it is. Like,
shout out little brother.
But that's what it is. Like, so all these people, like, shit, you get 3 years in the spotlight and then you gonna send me back to the fucking hood? Nigga, no. I refuse. Nigga, I'll scam. I'll do whatever the fuck I gotta do to not go back there. Like, it really sucks because Darius Miles was in that shit. And, man, I love knuckleheads, bro. My brother texted me the story and the first thing I responded was, man, he's a knucklehead for sure. And, yeah. It's fucked up because I remember hearing Quentin Richardson say that, like, when they started that podcast, like D Miles was like in a bad place, like mentally and shit. So it's like, damn, that was probably the shit he was on at that time. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to make it work. And he's like, bro, you know, let's do this podcast. Let's get this money this way.
That shit popped off, and it's like, well, you already did that shit.
Man, yep. That shit is crazy.
You think the feds were listening to the podcast too?
Had to.
Yeah. Shit.
He got all them other former athletes on that shit. They probably like, nigga, the prior podcast conversations they were probably having. Because apparently, like I mean, you know, I ain't gonna say you know the feds, like Taji's an informant or some shit.
Hey,
2 drugs, please. I'll take 2 of your weeds, please. But yeah, if anyone knows how the feds get down, bro, like I was saying before, bro, once they come down on you, they got everything, dog. They were talking about they got, like you said, wiretaps. They got, you know, people being in opposite places of where they report. They got everything, dog. So I'm sure they were listening to that fucking podcast. They had to, because it's like those are just the people they caught. Mm-hmm. Like I'm sure there was like a lot of like shaky evidence they can't really make stick. That they kind of had to just, all right, well, we ain't got enough on him. Well, he, you know, I'm sure they, you know, how the feds work. Like they want to get as much people that they can guaranteed get. So it's like these 18 niggas, they're done. But the other niggas, they probably, you know,
another day.
Yeah. We'll let them cook. But they know once they drop the hammer, everybody else gonna scatter. So it's like, oh shit, nigga, nigga, they ain't playing about this shit. They giving niggas real fed time. That's crazy though. Like NBA players like being in the feds, like, bro. I mean, I guess it's. I mean, you're a 5-star athlete. So, I mean, I heard niggas don't get raped in the feds, man. If that's any consolation.
According to Goodfellas, man, they making pasta and shit and lobster and shit. But I wonder, is insurance fraud worse than insider trading? Because I want to see niggas get Martha Stewart time, like a year. That's it.
I don't think
this is white collar crime.
It is white collar crime.
Treated as such.
I'm thinking 3 to 5.
Damn.
Probably somewhere in that range.
Yeah, people treat insurance fraud pretty seriously.
Yeah, I mean the fact that the NBA decided to get the feds involved in the first place is.
Goddamn, do you think Slender Man was involved?
Yeah, of course,
Fuck.
man. Dr. Evil, bro. This motherfucker, man. Yeah, it seems like your friend, bro, but everybody ain't your friends, man. You know what your mama told you and shit. But yeah, man, I guess we'll move on. Shout out to Dr. Umar. I saw this shit in real time. And I don't even know if everyone else saw it like this. I'm pretty sure they just saw the headline like on the back end. But I went into like a Mike Tyson, what's the name of his podcast?
I don't even know.
It's something to do with smoking. Hot boxing.
Nice.
Hot boxing with Mike Tyson. I watched this podcast. I went into a hole on this podcast because Mike Tyson is very lucid at times. And then there's other times where he's smoking Joe Tyson.
Definitely, you got brain injury.
Yeah. But there's glimpses of
smoking.
But there's glimpses of greatness in there. Like he dropped some gems just on some random shit. But I think it was Joey Badass, if I'm correct. But don't quote me on that. It was a rapper for sure. Who else could it have been? Might have been Freddie Gibbs. Might have been Freddie Gibbs too. I know I watched both those episodes, but either way, one of them brought up Dr. Umar. I want to say it was Freddie. And Mike Tyson, he was just talking about how, like, Freddie was trying to tell him, like, you know, about Dr. Umar's, you know, his fight and shit or whatever. And Mike Tyson's like, who the fuck does he think he is? To, like, say this and that, you know. Mike Tyson don't really, one thing I learned about this nigga, he don't really fuck with that black power shit, dog. At all. Mike Tyson, at all. He don't fuck with that shit at all. He's just like, yo, everybody is one. Everybody should be together. I don't know. There's a lot to be said about that. But that nigga's Mike Tyson, so I ain't got shit to say. Nope. But I did think it was hilarious because they're going back and forth. You know, Freddie's just trying to explain it to him. He's like, yo, fuck that guy, man. I don't know who the fuck he is, or fuck him. He didn't even know who Dr. Umar was. So I think that whole Dr. Umar challenging him to a boxing match, I think was just stems from that. Like him saying that on the podcast. Then Dr. Umar catching wind of it. And, you know, forever the entertainer that he is. I don't know. One could say, yo, let's fight on pay-per-view and let's get all this money for black people.
I'd watch it.
I'd watch it, yeah. I was gonna say I wouldn't, but yeah, I think I'd watch it, man. Yeah, it'd be entertaining at the very least. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Let Snoop announce it, bro. We good.
It's funny though. That's what boxing has turned into. There's no like real heavyweight cards and shit like that no more, or any like notable cards. Like it's all just like spectacle boxing now. It's just let's put fucking Dr. Umar in there with a fucking lion. Let's see what the fuck happens. Like that's pretty much, we're back like in Roman times where they just fucking throw an elephant and a lion there in together and just see what the fuck happens. That's pretty much what we're at right now. Oh shit, trap kitchen cooking. But yeah. I didn't watch the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury shit, man. I'm not a boxing nigga, dog. So fuck that shit. I'm gonna skip over that. We're getting to Dave Chappelle shit, man. Okay, so
hilarious.
I didn't finish it.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I ain't gonna say I didn't like it, but it had to be put into perspective for me. Much like the Tyson point that I was trying to make earlier, that I didn't really make. You know, I know a lot of white people, man. Fuck it, I'll say it. I'm coming out.
I'll bleep it.
Yeah. Yeah, bleep that shit. The people don't need to know that. I know enough white people, man. And I've heard the point 1,000 times about gay. They're trying to equate like the gay agenda to the black agenda, how it's like the same fight. And I would always have the argument with them, like, yo, it's not the same. It's so disrespectful for you to call that the same shit. It's not the same shit, bro. It's not even close. Like, I don't come out to be black, motherfucker. I mean, if I did, motherfucker, I would never come out. I'd be in the closet forever. I wouldn't, what the fuck? You think, like, motherfucker, if that was all the choice was, coming out or not coming out, nobody would be black, motherfucker. What the fuck? Like, I don't think that point to me is a very basic point. But talking to other black people, they're saying that, like, yo, but nobody's saying that in the mainstream media. Nope. You know what I mean? So, and that kind of put it in perspective for me. So it kind of gave me a different appreciation thinking about it from that era, like lane. I'm like, oh, yeah, you know what? That's kind of true. Just because I believe that shit 1,000 times doesn't mean the whole world even maybe discuss that topic or whatever.
That's pretty radical, actually.
Is it though?
With the consensus of America, yeah, that's a pretty radical statement.
Yeah,
that will make most Americans clutch their pearls.
Yeah, like uncomfortable, but yeah. I don't see why though. I don't understand.
You got the blinders on, bro.
But yeah, I could go into the whole tangent about Lil Nas X and him co-opting two cultures at once, but yeah, man. So I thought it was entertaining. I think it was a lot of funny moments. I mean, it's Dave Chappelle, man. He's fucking hilarious, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's a bad Dave. Like, for me, like, I just enjoyed the sound of his voice. Like, just I can hear Dave Chappelle talk about anything. Honestly, like, shit. I mean, the free episodes that he gives away, I listen to the Luminary shit, like because that shit's dope. Like, just to hear him on a round table with comedians and artists and shit. He just has a interesting. I think, you know, the dope thing about really good comedians, they just have dope perspectives. It's not even about the comedy for me per se. Yeah, I mean, I know you can write jokes, but the way you look at things is what writes the jokes, really. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of that thing. So I just like to hear his perspective on things, and you know, it was good to hear that. One thing, I think Vince said this to me. He's like, "Yo, Dave Chappelle's an old nigga, man," and just thinking about that, it's like, oh, you know, old niggas, how can I say this shit where we don't have to bleep it a lot? This gay shit is still like a faux pas to them. You know what I mean? Me, I grew up, I ain't gonna say I grew up around gay people, but it was always a clique of gay niggas in high school and shit. Like, it wasn't really no thing for me to be like, oh, yo, that guy's gay. Oh, like maybe when I was like 5'10", nigga. But once you like become an adult, it's like, yo, he's gay, nigga. So what? It wasn't really like a thing for me. So it's like, I do think older niggas have a different look at it. It's like, in their time, it was kind of like, they're, you know, I'm not tripping when gay people make the comparison to the black struggle, because from their eyes, maybe that shit is true. I'm not really tripping, but I could see how a guy that grew up closer to the civil rights era and shit like that could be mad at some shit like that, because you got a totally different. I mean, I don't know. Some could say we're in the civil rights era right now, but growing up in that time period, I do think people were like closer to blackness, maybe. Maybe I'm a little bit far removed from like being so emotionally tied to blackness, maybe. Maybe that's a bad statement to say out loud. But whatever, we're here. Time to get canceled. Bye-bye, black fans. It was nice knowing you. I don't know, what'd you think about it?
I thought it was funny. His molestation joke early on, that got overlooked too. I mean, nigga was molested by a priest.
He just talked about it candidly.
Yeah.
And then that's the thing about people like that. You don't even know if they're joking or it's serious, like, or if it's both.
Like that shit was probably true. Just definitely. The way because I joke about my shit like that too. But it was funny, but I do feel like he spent a lot of time on that particular topic. And that's not what I wanted to see, because especially him saying it was his last special. I'm like, come on, bro. I need some gems, bro. I don't need this fight that you're fighting.
Exactly. Like, and that was kind of my thing about it, man. Yeah. I just got tired towards like 45 minutes in. It's like, I get it, bro. Like,
he was hammering that shit.
Yeah, like I don't want to hear another transsexual joke ever, my nigga. Like it's cool, bro. Yeah. Like it's not even. It is kind of punching down, dog. Like I don't know. I feel like these points are easy to make. Like anybody could. I mean, I don't know, man. Like I'm not even the guy that's like on the side of whoever. I don't know, man. Maybe like you said, middle of America probably needs to hear that type of shit. But
that's what it seemed like it was for. I mean, you think about where he lives.
Yeah, he lives in Cleveland. Like he lives in that. He's around those types of people that are, you know, shit. We're in a metropolitan city, bro. Atlanta has 2 gay pride marches a year, motherfucker. Like,
but I mean, that's segregated too if you think about it.
Yeah, black gay pride.
You know, whatever.
Yeah. On that note, we'll get into what I've been watching and listening to. Outside of Dave Chappelle shit. Let's see what I got. I've been fucking with Wale a lot.
Real poetic.
The album About Nothing. I feel like that's an album I kind of slept on.
Yeah.
People always would tell me how good that album was. I'm like, I remember hating that shit when it dropped. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Going back to it. Vince Staples, went back to that. Yeah. Vince Staples, self-titled. Still haven't really completely dove into the West Side Gun Side B shit. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. But the joints, there's some joints on there. It's just so much music, man. There's a lot to take in.
Too much.
Yeah, for sure. On the podcast side of things, listen to the San Jose Bees episode, which is pretty hilarious, about a minor league baseball team. It's right up your alley.
I was about to say they moved to Salt Lake.
Oh, so you know about that.
Yeah. Shout out to the Bees.
Yeah. They have a crazy story. I don't know if you know the backstory. It's fucking insane. April Walker. The April Walker Drink Champs episode was really dope. She just talked about the beginnings of hip hop fashion, and you know she had a lot of points about like Carl Kanai and people like that. It was I enjoyed it. She talked about early stories with like Tupac, Big, just a lot of Jay-Z, Jazzo. It was very interesting. Other than that, a lot of rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast because I'm a big Sixers fan. Gotta love it. I think that's it. What I've been watching. Let me see it. Marvel What If. I enjoyed that. That was probably one of the few episodes I actually really enjoyed. Because it actually had an ending. I'm so tired. The one with
So the Watcher?
The Watcher, yeah. The Watcher actually intervenes.
And, shit. He's not watching anymore.
Yeah. He steps in, bro. He gets his ass whooped too. It's pretty cool. They got Killmonger being a fuck nigga as always. But they did like a different set of Avengers. It was kind of cool. Like Killmonger was one of them. Like the super souped up Doctor Strange, where he like devoured all his other selves and all the other dimensions. Yeah, that guy. They brought all the stories kind of like. They brought them all home in the end, which was cool. Injustice. Great. Bro, great. I always recommend people to do the DC animated movies. I feel like they're far better than Marvel's attempt at this shit. Yeah, man, great movie. They kind of got a little Omni-Man with it. Superman went Omni-Man kind of. It was very Invincible-esque. Okay. I'm like, I think DC is kind of like, we gotta catch up. We can't do this. That's the only thing I didn't love about the Marvel animation, man. It's just too much of that kiddie shit. But that's pretty much it. What you got?
I've also been listening to the West Side.
Boop, 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 boop.
Really fuck with what the fuck is the name of it? Julia Lang.
Julia Lang is dope. Yeah. I love that shit because, damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yes, bro. That shit is so good. I finally was able to find a bootleg of Decades by Cloud Eater. It's a song from a local artist. They were like a collective and then they broke up, but that's probably like one of the best songs I've heard from them. I saw it for the first time when they performed it live at like an event from New Era. They was at
that's crazy,
like the Loft or some shit. And I'm like, this motherfucker is singing and doing an NPC at the same time. I'm like, this shit is amazing, and nobody else was really paying attention to it. I was like, yeah. But anyway,
I saw Q-Tip do that.
Yeah. Metronomy dropped a little EP that's kind of dope. If anybody fucks with them. Been listening to Chops.
Shout out to Chop.
He
Chop
has
Ross.
Kid Cudi.
Oh, he did do a Kid Cudi
playlist.
Yeah, I don't have iTunes, so I couldn't really get into it. But I saw the lineup, and it was really dope.
It made me remember how dope Indica was.
Indica was probably maybe my
and I was cleaning my game room yesterday, and I found my physical copy that I bought. I'm like, oh shit,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that was kind of dope.
Physicals. Let's get physicals. All right,
crazy. I've been listening to a lot of Questlove Supreme, just like the classic episodes that he's been kind of re-releasing. They had a joint with Jackson 5 that may be recent though. That's a really good interview.
I gotta listen to that.
That shit is kind of dope.
It's on iTunes. On Apple Podcasts.
Yeah. I use Google Podcasts right now because Apple kept crashing on me. Abroad in Japan podcast is kind of dope. I just missed out there, so I've just been kind of getting my fix.
I still got to get there. Questlove Supreme,
yeah.
Add that to the blog. I mean the pod roll.
And I always have Get It On GIO on heavy rotation. It's basically some dude just trying to repurpose and remaster Loveline episodes. So right now I'm in like 2001, like right after September 11th they were recording and stuff, and that's been super weird to listen to that as it happened. But yeah, it's really good.
Before we before we forgot
20 year, you know what I mean, anniversary. I watched Squid Games. I thought it was okay. That's really it. Yeah, that's it.
All right, well, on that note, shout out to Sean, man. He'll be back.
Shout out Sean.
Yeah, we are the Wash Guys. Wash never washed up.
Wash never washed up.
This is the update. Yeah, we'll see y'all next week, bitches.